The first question many people ask when you approach them at the doorstep, as I have done over this past weekend and in previous days, is why you're seeking the office. I'm seeking this seat as a direct result of the values instilled in me as a child and throughout life. It is when the challenges are the greatest that those able and willing to work across a community, between and amongst various groups, must step forward. As many of you have experienced in your own lives, your grandparents helped shape your sense of self. My Grandpa Kane served over 4 decades on the Marlboro School Committee. My Grandma and Grandpa Foisey were early and active supporters of political candidates that embodied their sense of what their community should be, what their state should be, and what their country should be about. I learned from my grandparents that you have to take an active interest in your hometown. It's not enough to leave the details to someone else. I also recall doing the checkbook for Grandma Kane, a widow at the time. I recall her worrying about the arrival of her Social Security check and her worries over filling the oil tank in the home built by my grandfather. I also vividly recall going to City Hall in Marlboro, to the assessor's office of all places, to obtain the World War I Veterans Abatement Form in the annual effort to reduce the impact of property tax bills on a fixed income. I'm sure each of you can recall such a simple and important moment in your own life and how that has shaped the respect you have for people who are in another place of life. I learned from my parents, both educators, that you do your part in helping people and in helping your hometown. I recall my mother working for years, Sunday afternoon after Sunday afternoon, correcting papers and working on lessons plans in her effort to educate elementary school students in Marlboro. And I remember my dad working hours and hours, whether it be teaching and working on the planning, serving on the planning board in Marlboro, or serving as superintendent of schools, trying to get the best result he could from various budget challenges and staffing issues. It is from such experience that I shape my own sense of what it is to be an active and contributing member to one's hometown. It's with that sense of service to others that I joined the fire service and graduated from the first hazardous materials training class in the state, with the goal of helping those who found themselves in trouble. It was that same sense of service that I sought to serve on the Marlboro City Council upon graduating from Holy Cross, and made me seek the chairmanship of the Finance Committee. I served on the Finance Committee to ensure my contribution was a substantial one, and one that is remembered for its fiscal discipline and respect for the taxpayer, as well as one that focused on targeted investments in both transparent and accountable actions. These same principles guide me today. When Hannah and I moved to Shrewsbury 12 years ago, we each got involved right away. I served on the Industrial Development Commission, as you've heard. I also then sought appointment to the Board of Assessors, as well as the Fiscal Study Committee. Although not high-profile posts by any means, service on such municipal boards provides critical insight to the complexity of the municipal budgeting process and how our finances are woven together through a series of state and federal regulation. With the arrival of children came the opportunity to spend more frequent visits to Dean Park and enjoy all that it has to offer. Children also provided me with the opportunity to coach soccer and softball, and to see just how many other parents were out there doing everything they could for the benefit of the children of Shrewsbury. I have demonstrated a dedication to Shrewsbury since arriving on Main Circle, not just since pulling nomination papers. In the weeks since announcing my intention to run for the Board of Selectmen, I have met with groups and individuals, those active in local and state politics, and those who consider politics to be, at best, suspect. You can learn a lot about what interests your neighbors and what concerns your neighbors when you choose to listen to their voices. I'm running to represent the interests of that silent majority of Shrewsbury, the taxpayer and the business owner who are working very hard, worried about their own future, those who have also suffered through a 50% loss of their IRA, and are worried over the security of their own job. I'm running to represent the parents of Shrewsbury and the children of Shrewsbury. I'm running to ensure that we do not forget those who built Shrewsbury and handed it to us as our own hometown to steward into the future. The silent majority of our town is not a collection of political junkies, but rather a group of hardworking mothers and fathers, well off and not so well off, young and poor, young and old, pardon me. I need your help in mobilizing that majority to support my candidacy on May 5th.